Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne and I'm really glad and happy that you're here. If you are new, welcome to my subscribers and choir members. Welcome back. I hope you've had a good day or night, whatever time it is. We've got some things to discuss and we're in for a good night. So I've got a couple of things on the agenda tonight, but, as usually what happens, nothing goes to plan. Hello, Bo. How are you? I want to talk a little bit more about Christian Porter. Rufus, is Joe ever really ready for us? Hello, Rufus and Cooper and Joanne. We've got our Barnaby Joyce is our acting Prime Minister. That's scary. That's a very scary thought. We've got some follow-up with Christian Porter. I did a video earlier today that was bizarre about how it's been revealed the police never actually investigated the case. And then we want to talk about the fact that trauma is not tea. A missing person is not a reason to jump on a bandwagon and make money from it. And then to say that the FBI goes to your house looking for a person of interest. Seriously, why? Anyway, I have questions. But trauma is not tea, and while I don't want to really discuss the case in detail, I want to talk about the bandwagon that certain creators have done and live streams that they have done to make money from it and how I think it's wrong. And acting Prime Minister, is he doing some Shakespeare for us? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? So, and to all the people in the US of A, our Prime Minister is on his way. Yay! Aren't you guys going to be lucky? Our Prime Minister is coming to your shores. I don't know what's worse. Keep him. Can we send Barnaby with him? Lucky US. I know. Aren't they lucky? Aren't they lucky? Well, that's all right. I just hope the US doesn't have any disasters while he's over there, because he doesn't hold a hose, mate. Oh, dear. But yes, anyway, Prime Minister Scott Morrison is on his way to the USA. But, I mean, I don't know. We've got Barnaby. We're left with Barnaby. Thought you were in lockdown. Why is he traveling? Wow. That's a very good question. That's a question that I have asked on numerous occasions, but very good question. They only just got rid of it. Now they have Morrison inbound. Well, he is Trump Jr., isn't he? He was a Trump wannabe, isn't he? He was a Trump wannabe. Yeah. Look, I don't know. I don't know why this has to be a face-to-face meeting when every other meeting is conducted virtually at the moment in Australia. Even I just don't understand it, because he's been to Japan. Or he went overseas recently. That's right. He's just the fella from down under. So it's weird. I don't understand it. I don't think it's right. I'm totally against the fact that he's traveling. To be honest with you, I don't like it. But I have been highly criticised for making that point. But I don't think he should be traveling. Well, it's interesting because North Korea's had something to say about the subs too. So we're going to have a look at see what North Korea's had to say, because they've not been. North Korea reckons that there could be a nuclear arms race now, which is really quite scary. So, but let's start off with our mate Barnaby. That's right. I mean, he went to the UK earlier. I know it was the UK, wasn't it? He went for the He went to the UK earlier, and I don't know. As I said, I don't know why he had to go at that time, but it's really, really bizarre. But yes, we will talk about Katie Joy and her, what I believe is exploitation of trauma later. So, Barnaby Joyce, this is the headline from the Daily Mail. Barnaby Joyce relishes filling in as Prime Minister during his first press conference, acting in the top job, weighing in on the war with China, free speech, and Christian Porter after ScoMo jetted out to meet Joe Biden. Watch out, President. You got a fella from down under coming. So he's acting Prime Minister. So Barnaby Joyce declared, "We want peace with China," during his first official press conference as acting Prime Minister. I believe ScoMo is due to arrive sometime Tuesday. Mr. Joyce, who reclaimed the Deputy Prime Minister's role in June, said Australia had to build up its military to ward off any attackers, citing China, Russia and Iran as potential adversaries. On Thursday, Mr. Morrison announced the US and UK will give Australia the technology to build 8 nuclear-powered submarines to counter China's growing assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific region. We don't really want a threat from China. We don't want to provoke anything. We want things to settle down, but there's no denying the actions that have happened in recent times. He said, citing Chinese territorial claims in the South China Sea, accusations of human rights abuses, and China's military buildup. And don't forget, the government sites sold off the Darwin port to the Chinese as well. I mean, we don't even own our own port. So, you know. Okay, they have around 70 submarines, so just so people know, we're talking about 8. They've got 70, we've got 8, he said. He's an idiot, in my opinion. On top of that, you have the actions of Russia, and on top of that, you've got the actions of Iran, and we have a more unstable position. But it's not in Europe on the other side of the world. But this time it's not in Europe on the other side of the world. This time it's in our part of the world. It is here. And we just want peace. We want peace. We want peace. But to have peace, if you want peace, you have to be substantial enough not to be worth the fight. What on earth is he talking about? Mr. Joyce, who was friendly with journalists and appeared to enjoy the presser, also discussed Christian Porter, who resigned as Science Minister on Sunday after accepting an anonymous donation to fund his legal battle against the ABC. He said Mr. Porter had not... Mr. Porter had not a good day at the wicket, but insisted that he could make a comeback on the front bench in the future. What? My own recommendation is that he's an incredibly capable politician, he told reporters. Mr. Joyce, who spent 3.5 years on the backbench before returning to Nationals leadership, expects Mr. Porter to use his time out of the ministry wisely. If he does that effectively, I believe he should be given another chance at some time in the future in a senior role. He said Mr. Porter had done nothing illegal. Mr. Porter launched defamation action against the ABC about the defamation case. Mr. Joyce also then launched a passionate defence of free speech after his outgoing Nationals colleague, George Christensen, raised eyebrows for saying Melbourne police should be arrested for allegedly being violent towards anti-lockdown protesters in the city at the weekend. I support any person in this building to speak their mind. That's what we're here for. We have just talked about what we want to protect. You know, these freedoms and rights, we have them. I find it interesting we talk about how important it is to protect them, and the next minute you have someone saying you have to stop a person from speaking. I can't control George, nor do I want to. I can have a discussion with him, and I can explain my difference of opinions on some things. Excuse me, Barnaby, you're his leader. You're his party leader. You tell him to zip his lip. I don't think we should be arresting police. I think police have had an absolute hell of a time trying to deal with this. I don't think the police want to be out there basically policing the Australian citizens and COVID. They want to move on as well as quickly as possible, he said. So, yeah, well, they sold the Port of Darwin to the Chinese own the Port of Darwin, and we're leasing it back. So it's really bizarre how that's happened. So then this is the Age reporting that Porter had a bad day at the wicket. Now, for those of you that aren't from a country that has cricket, it's a cricket term. A bad day at the wicket. Actually, it should be a bad day at the crease, Barnaby. If you're going to start using sporting puns, at least get them right. A bad day at the crease. Seriously. A wicket is what they play on. Ugh. They could actually take us like a decade. Yeah. So essentially, the acting Prime Minister has defended Christian Porter's acceptance of accepting the donation. He keeps saying he's done nothing illegal. But it's not about whether it's illegal or whether it's legal. It's about what is moral and right. And remember that other politicians have had to stand down and resign over a lot less than $1 million. Launching the defence of his former cabinet colleague. So he defended him. So Mr. Joyce, as we said, is acting Prime Minister after Scott Morrison flew to Washington on Monday morning to meet US President Joe Biden as part of a week-long visit to the US. So he's gone for a week. Asked why it is not acceptable for a minister to take mystery donations, but the same standard did not apply to MPs, Mr. Joyce responded, the ministerial code of conduct is not a discussion about legal or illegal. It's a discussion about what the Prime Minister believes is acceptable to be a minister. Mr. Porter has done nothing illegal. If he had, the police would be here. I would have thought he would have had to have quarantined. Now the contract is from his employer, which is the Perth electorate of Pearce. So the only thing we can hope for is that his electorate, the Pearce electorate, does the right thing and votes him out. Opposition leader Anthony Albanese said Mr. Porter was certainly breaking the rules by not disclosing the source of donations of interest. Who provided this money? Is there a conflict of interest? Does anyone who provided money have contracts with the government? Are there real reasons why members of parliament have obligations? There are real reasons why members of parliament have obligations to declare publicly any private interests they may receive, Mr. Albanese told ABC Radio. So, in his resignation letter, Mr. Porter indicated that he had been in contact with the trustees who received and administered donations, and they had assured him none of the contributors were lobbyists or prohibited foreign donors. He said he was unwilling to disclose the identity of those who contributed to funding in order to protect them from the social media mob. Which is interesting. So Mr. Albanese said that if the precedent was allowed to stand, any MP could receive anonymous donations and the register of pecuniary interest may as well be torn up. Quite clearly, one of the things that needs to be explained is how these donations were solicited. It's beyond belief that somehow this fund was spontaneously created, that people found out by themselves somehow through some osmosis process how to put money into a bank account, into a trust fund that was was to be used for Christian Porter's legal defence. Now, with like, for example, Friendly Geordies, he publicly said, this is my legal fund, and gave out the information. This is all done via backdoor. Mr. Porter has maintained he did not believe he'd breached ministerial standards and would not step down from his seat. He has nominated for pre-selection as a Liberal candidate for Pearce at the next federal election. But he was the one that was responsible for updating the code of conduct with the Prime Minister. So I don't know what he's talking about. Now, Peter Fitzgibbons has actually... Let me just pull up this. He actually started contacting some of the millionaires. And he stated on his Twitter account, let me just find it. No, not Fitzgibbons, is it Fitzsimons? I can't remember who it is. It's what's his name? There we go. Sorry, Peter Fitzsimons. I'm sorry, messed it up. Yeah, it's really scary, isn't it? Now, I thought I read him. I thought I heard him. Oh, yes, here we go. Hello, Ellie. He wrote here, and I can confirm, Twiggy, very strong to me personally, that he has not donated to Porter Blind Trust, and Miss Reinhardt's spokesperson was also very firm in denial. I did not hear back from Klein Palmer. So we know, so people have started to ask, so Twiggy, is that Twiggy Forrest, and Gina Reinhardt have not funded the Blind Trust, according to Peter Fitzsimons, because he said it. So, which is really, really interesting. Hello, the Fox. Sorry, hello. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I said hello to the Fox. I'm just trying to work out who's joining. So, what do you make about Barnaby? What do you think about Barnaby defending Porter and then saying that he can make a comeback onto the front bench? That scares the living daylights out of me. But then if Barnaby can do it, then... All right. So then, North Korea. Says AU, so this is Australia, UK, US. Nuclear submarine pact could trigger nuclear arms race. I don't know how much you want to believe. I don't know how much you want to believe North Korea, whether they're just trying to... But Twiggy and Gina get given to someone to give to their blind trust. If Sam went for grand... Well, that's what I'm saying. Sam Dastiari went for a lot less money, and he actually named where it came from. But Porter won't name where it came from. So it says North Korea slammed a new security pact between Australia, the US, and the UK as extremely undesirable and dangerous, warning it could trigger a nuclear arms race in the region. Under the defence pact announced last week, known as AUKUS, the US will supply Australia with nuclear submarines, adding Australia to a small group of countries equipped with that military capability. These are extremely undesirable and dangerous acts which will upset the strategic balance in the Asia-Pacific region and trigger a chain of nuclear arms race, an unidentified foreign minister official told North Korea's official Korean Central News Agency. The official said North Korea was closely examining the deal and would proceed with corresponding counteraction if even the smallest negative effect on our country's safety. What? US President Joe Biden revealed last week that the US would deliver a fleet of at least 8 nuclear-powered submarines to the Royal Australian Navy. Mr. Biden stressed the submarines would be conveniently armed and will not be equipped with nuclear weapons. Prime Minister Scott Morrison blamed the switch on a deteriorating strategic environment in the Indo-Pacific, a clear reference to China's massive military build-up that has gained pace in recent years. Will we get new ones or will we get old ones? The official said North Korea supports the view of China and other countries that the deal will destroy regional peace and security and the international non-proliferation system and intensify arms race. The current situation shows once again that our efforts to bolster national defence capabilities based on long-term perspectives should not be eased by even a bit, the official told KCNA. The announcement triggered an angry reaction from France, which accused Australia of concealing its intentions to back out of a $90 billion contract for French majority state-owned naval group to build 12 conventional diesel-electric submarines. France recalled its ambassador to both Australia and the US as a result of the pact. The North Korea official made an apparent reference to the French complaint, saying the United States was being accused of backstabbing even by its allies. The US double-dealing attitude erodes the universally accepted international norm and order and seriously threatens world peace and stability, the spokesman said. So North Korea has not conducted a nuclear test since 2017 and suspended testing of intercontinental range ballistic missiles that could hit the US mainland in 2018 when leader Kim Jong-un initiated diplomacy with former President Donald Trump. Nuclear negotiations between Washington and Pyongyang have stalled since the collapse of a second Trump-Kim meeting in 2019, when the Americans rejected North Korea's demands for major sanctions relief in exchange for dismantling an aging nuclear facility. While maintaining its self-imposed moratorium on nuclear and intercontinental ballistic missile tests, North Korea has continued testing shorter-range weapons, threatening US allies South Korea and Japan in the apparent effort to pressure the Biden administration over stalled diplomacy. North Korea this month tested a new cruise missile that it intends to arm with nuclear warheads and demonstrated a new system for launching ballistic missiles from trains. So there you go. So North Korea's got involved. And then veteran Labor Senator demands an inquiry into the pact. So now we've got people Biden, the fellow from Upton. So veteran Labor Senator Kim Carr says the federal government's new nuclear submarine pact with the US and Britain must be subject to parliamentary scrutiny to ensure Australia retains sovereign capabilities in its naval shipbuilding plan. Senator Carr was among a group of Labor MPs who urged caution during a caucus briefing on Friday against instantly backing the government's pact, which abruptly terminated a $90 billion deal with France and caused a major diplomatic dispute. Hello, totally clueless. That's okay. So he believes a Senate Select Committee should now be established to probe the potential impact of the deal on Australia's abilities to build and maintain the fleet, as well as seek assurances the nation will not be breaking its nuclear non-proliferation treaty obligations. A cabinet minister in the Rudd and Gillard government Senator Carr said it was wrong for the government to expect instant bipartisan support after Labor's leadership received only a sketchy 2-hour briefing without documents. There are important questions we need to ask here, not on behalf of our current citizens, but of our grandchildren. And, of course, Scott Morrison will arrive in New York. I thought it was Washington. We've seen Washington, we've seen New York. Ba, 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 da, 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 da. For meetings on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, which includes a bilateral with the US. Amid French fury over the deal, Mr. Morrison will also have a working dinner with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Hey! Oi! The UK is going to be there too! Before the first in-person meeting of the Quad leaders, including Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga on Friday. Whoa! Labor leader Anthony Albanese supported the government's New Deal but has criticised its mishandling of the French contract, including the blowout in timeline and potential costs in tearing up the contract. Because, of course, we've got money to spend. Oh, is that Hillsong Church is opening in New York City? Wow, that's funny, isn't it? But Senator Carr said blank checks should never be accepted and that many questions remain unanswered with the deal. What will the local content be for the new subs, given that the US, this is also contracted to a single company? There are also questions about preserving Australian sovereignty itself because of many decades ahead. AU, UK, US will lock Australia rigidly into a global strategic priorities of the US. It will do so regardless who occupies the White House. The government has not explained what type of nuclear boats will be built, nor how much they will cost, or the reasons it's abandoned the contracts. These are all questions the government must answer, not fob off in its usual style. The Senate estimates and other committees will be busy seeking answers, and the Select Committee inquiry could well be warranted given the gravity of concerns. So, the diplomatic fallout, it sounds like it, Cooper. We've upset the French. We've got North Korea saying, bring it on. The diplomatic fallout grew deeper on Monday as France cancelled a meeting between Armed Forces Minister Florence Parly and her British counterpart. Reuters reported Ms. Parly personally took the decision to drop the bilateral meeting with British Defence Secretary Ben Wallace. The French Defence Ministry could not be immediately reached. The British Defence Ministry declined comment. Nobody's talking. Sources confirmed that the meeting had been cancelled. Mr. Morrison told reporters in Sydney prior to his departure on Monday that his trip was about keeping Australia safe in an increasing uncertain world. Right. That's totally clueless, guys. The French get upset easily. Hopefully there's no one from France watching. Because, Mr. Morrison's has parts of his country in lockdown, but yeah, let's just travel. This is all about always ensuring about Australia's sovereign interests will be put first to ensure that Australians can live peacefully with the many others in our region, because that's what we desire as a peaceful and free nation, he said. Right. Makes sense, not. What do you reckon about that? What? Oh, dear me. So, we desire peace. Well, that's right. Let's buy 8 nuclear subs and let's upset the French. Yeah. It makes perfect sense, right? Perfect sense. That $90 billion that they have wasted could have actually solved our housing situation in the country. $90 billion. Hello, Stortwater. We're just letting out Sky. to the USA. And I think there's been a few people that have said that they could keep him too. So, well, if you remember during the global financial crisis, the Australian Treasurer got awarded the best treasurer around the world. Hello, Kim. Hey, Kim, our Prime Minister's on our way. He's on his way to your shores. He'll be there soon. So, but $90 billion was the US's ballot budget not that long ago. It was our total. That's right. Yeah. Yes, I hear. Sounds like a big meeting. Well, with the fellow from down under, is ScoMo going? I come from the land down under. Can you hear? Can you hear the bell? So anyway. He is that fella from down under, so he'd be right to sing I Come From the Land Down Under. Oh, dear. So we've got North Korea not happy about the sub deal, and we've got North Korea not happy. We've got the French not happy. So actually, they're only building nuclear subs, but they're not making them nuclear. So that's what it said. So does that mean then that we're going to have to pay to get them converted into nuclear subs? Oh, dear. We'll have to pedal harder. I don't think the Chinese... Well, I mean, you know what will happen, the Fox? The Chinese will come in and buy the subs and then we'll lease them off them because the government likes to sell off all of our stuff. How did we go from a global pandemic to global nuclear missile? Because apparently the US, the UK, and Australia have all done a deal about nuclear. Have done a deal, and the US are going to give us. The US are going to give us 8 subs apparently. So that's what it is. And they're supposed to be having a meeting together about it. But there's lots of questions, and that's the thing. There's so many more questions than answers. And we've upset the French because the French were supposed to be building us submarines or something. So now my history or my geography of the US is not the greatest, okay? But how far is Wyoming to Minnesota out of interest? You know where I'm going with this. Yes, that's right, sure, the cook. They're going good luck with China, and if they get through your 8 subs, we'll then come in. For propulsion only, there aren't. Oh, was it? So LER, it's a few states only. So, all right. You know that I'm talking about the missing person today, Gabby, who was found deceased in the national park, and her boyfriend is missing, or her partner's missing. But somebody on a live stream today said that somebody had rung the FBI and said that they were holding the fugitive in their basement. So I was just trying to work out how he got from Wyoming to allegedly Minnesota. It's a 13-hour drop. Oh, so it could be possible. It could be possible. I think she's lying about the cops coming to her door. We'll all be waving from Dover here in the UK and from San Francisco Bridge in the US. Call us if you know. Oh, except he's in Florida. So he's what? Hang on, I'm confused. So as you can tell, I haven't followed the news like at all. But I've seen the fact. I saw. I heard that they found the body. Yes, I did hear that they had found the body. That's very sad. But what I don't understand. But he's in Florida, so he's supposed to be in Florida. Is that right? Because this, I saw this and I went, you have got to be joking. Earlier today, police showed up at my home after someone falsely claimed we were harbouring Brian, is it Laundry, in our home. I can confirm that officers told my husband and me that there is an active manhunt for Brian. They showed up at my home in bulletproof vests. Now, first of all, it's my husband and I, if we're talking about proper English. And I don't know, police in Australia wear bulletproof vests as standard, as over top of their uniform. So she goes, today around 3 p.m. or so, 2 sheriff officers showed up at our home. They were wearing bulletproof vests and clearly uncertain about what to expect when we opened the door. I'm sorry, I should not laugh. While speaking to them, the officer said a call came in to Denver FBI that we were harboring a wanted man. I explained I did not know Brian, but I had been reporting on Gabby, and I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce her name, Petito's disappearance. While we were talking to them, the FBI called them to find out if Brian was at our home. They cleared the call and stated that Brian was not in our home. We were told there is an active manhunt for Brian, and the manhunt is nationwide at this point. They said the FBI is taking all leads seriously. Please do not contact FBI and falsely report Brian being at someone's home. This could have resulted in my family being harmed. I'm sorry, I should not be laughing. I'd love to know what the Cokes were saying on the way to her house doing internet stuff. Well, interesting, because this came up in her live today. She was talking about it. And allegedly, one of her neighbours came in and told her that she was lying, and Toad eventually kicked her. So Brian is missing. And the FBI is searching for him. Please do not make false reports and potentially put innocent lives at risk. We do not know Brian. He is not in our home. This tells me they have lost him, chasing completely unrelated leads. That's how I felt too. I was like, what? Why would they show up in Minnesota? OMG, I did not know you in Minnesota. I live in Minnesota too. That's crazy, man. They must have no idea what they are doing. They are ridiculous. I have family in the FBI and they're just doing their job following leads. This is a crazy case. I'm not talking about law enforcement. They're doing a great job. Oh, really? So they're nowhere near each other, essentially? So, as I said, my geography of the US is not very good, so I apologise. However, I figured that it was a long shot. A thing called what's swatting? No, I don't know a thing called swatting. Is that where you send out false leads? But today, this was her Instagram. This is Instagram today. Look at this. Oh, I mean, KJ doesn't know about swatting. Yes, okay. Well, look at this. It started here. Hang on. Has this been going for days? Or is this one day? So this is here. And then there's the first one. Then we've got all of these. All of these. Oh, yeah, Tampa. He's in Tampa. Right. Those. That. Those. And then we've got all of that. So we're still going. So there you go. That was her Instagram. So there's a lot there. So I've got a couple of screenshots from what I could find from the no, I didn't. I haven't seen anything about it. So is this it? Oh, yeah. I don't know I've got no idea what it is. Someone's going to have to educate me. Oh, yes, Chris Watts. Yes, I saw that. First of all, if the FBI comes to your place for miss, they come with a bus. Well, I would have thought if they thought he was there, they wouldn't have come. They would have come prepared. Hello, Kelly. That's just me, though. You know, I just. All right, here we go. So there was a person. So this person allegedly is supposed to be a neighbour. So this is a screenshot from her live. It says, Katie, please tell the truth. That is not what they said. That's not what they did. And why is she wearing a shirt that says, I got this? Then it says, we sat on their front porch and we could hear most of it. I think she means we sat on our front porch. But anyway, Madison is just trolling. We don't have a front porch. She's now hidden from this channel. Oops. There you go. So, hello, Christine. So she, so that person is allegedly a neighbour and is saying, no, that's not what happened. Hello, cheap boss. I've got to pay that one. So this is Llama Girl. So this is Llama Girl. She's posted some shots, some snippets for us. So she says, please note, KJ says they received multiple calls, yet she tweeted and posted on Instagram that someone had called the FBI and reported. So let's have a listen. They'd received multiple calls. But yet she said one. And then this is the proof. So we saw this one. While speaking to them, the officer said a call came into Denver. So, and then what is the sheriff wearing here? Remember the other day she posted this to say that she had a sheriff in her house who's wearing a bulletproof vest. Oh dear me. That says, look at her clap and then clasp her hands together because she's excited that she can keep going with this heartbreaking story. Look at this. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, which is @for all of these updates. And we will keep going no matter what happens. So make sure you're following me on Instagram. There for all the latest, hey? What is... Well, yes, I believe the live she turned on to her, so... Then she says, and this is what I'm saying, trauma is not teen. Now there's one creator who has deleted their photos, deleted their videos of the situation I saw, and they're donating all their super chats and everything to a fund. Hello, Wind Whispers. So watch this one. Silver lining. Why would the police be there for an hour? Maybe police were there for another reason. Why would they? So based on her conversation that she said that she had with the police, why would they be there for an hour? She's smiling. got no reason. She's got no reason to lie about it. Really? Oh, well, that's at least a good point, isn't it? At least they're looking for Brian. Well, that's what all they've been doing. It's a silver lining. Did you just hear what she said? A silver lining. Oh, sorry, you can't hear her. All right, I'll fix it up. All right. Let's put it back. Sorry, you can hear her now.
And they cleared the case. Anyone in the chat that is saying I'm lying, there are records with the police department. They were at my house. I am so goddamn tired of being gaslit by people that are saying that I have no reason to lie about this. I was heartbroken for Gabby's family because I thought about this. I said to the police, I said, it's heart-wrenching to know that they are probably receiving so many tips like this, that there are so many tips like this that they just show up at. And then but then another part of me was like, wait a minute, it's horrible that they're here, but it also just tells me that they're really taking these things seriously and that they are really looking hard for Brian. And they're following up leads, even if they're not credible. So
you probably can't see this one. It says, don't turn this into drama. It's not a good look. So her own chat is telling her to shut up.
I just, this whole stop calling the FBI and reporting things that are just not true. Why are you wasting authorities' time? So anyways, they are actively looking for Brian. So at least there's that aspect. That was sort of the silver lining I can say out of all of that.
Silver lining.
And I do hope, there's definitely no one hiding in my basement.
Except the nurse, right? The nurses are hiding in the basement, aren't they? There's no one hiding in her basement.
Actually said that they were welcome to come into my house and look for Brian if they didn't believe me. They declined. And that was it. They were here for about an hour. We are working on that.
Can you move? I think it may be time for you. So apparently they're looking to move. That's all right. She'll tell everyone where she is.
They're working on that. We're thinking about that, Azia. Millennial money. Yeah, we're thinking about that. For sure.
And you're supposed to say, thank you for the super chat. That's very generous of you.
They did not say the cause of death yet.
So there you go. But yeah, so someone's done a super chat and she didn't even acknowledge it. Oh. So what do you make about that? That's right. Why would Brian be in the basement? I don't know. And tell me, but here's the thing. Here's what I want to know. If they were looking for Brian, they would have searched her house. If they really thought that he was there, or if someone had tipped them off, right? They would have searched the house. The fact they didn't search the house meant that wasn't it. So hello, Dee. I think so, Christine. I agree. All right, so then imagine. All right, so this is another one from Ellie.
Laundry in my house, Brian.
Oh, here we go.
Today, as I was covering the reporting, and I don't know how I would classify this, but the police did show up at my house, and somebody contacted the FBI in Denver, and they told the FBI in Denver that I was hiding Brian laundry in my house. So when they knocked at my door, I answered the door. There was two officers. They both had on bulletproof vests. We have had officers at our door multiple times. These officers showed up at our house with bulletproof vests on, and they were like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
As I said, in Australia, if you have the police come to your house, they have bulletproof vests on. I'm disgusted she put hashtag in her tweet. Did anyone find out if that was really her neighbour in her chat? I saw people grab the chat. I don't know. But see, the only way they would have been there for an hour is if they searched the house. I would say if they'd searched the house, they would have been there for an hour, and there would have been multiple officers. They would have probably had police dogs and everything. Let's just put it out there. If they're searching for a fugitive, they're not going to send two officers to look for the guy.
Somebody contacted the Denver police, the Denver FBI, and told them that I was hiding Brian laundry in my house, and that he had come to my house. Yes. So while we were
well, that's interesting because he's not a fugitive. He hasn't been charged. He's a person of interest at the moment, isn't he? And I think I referred to him as a person of interest. Look at the look on her face. Denver FBI. Yes, a good question, the Fox. Can the Americans here tell us if the FBI actually knock on the door? First she says FBI got called, then cops, then about her husband, then and FBI. It makes no sense. They don't even check the house. See, that's the thing. Why wouldn't they have checked the house? Really? She always says to, I bet these...
Is what they did, Madison. My husband was here too. There was two police officers. They were outside my house. They had bulletproof vests.
Oh, this is Madison. Katie, please tell the truth. That's not what they did. So she's addressing Madison. Have a listen. Who is supposed to be the neighbour?
There was two police officers. They were outside my house. They had bulletproof vests on. They said they had received multiple calls from the FBI. They also had claimed that there was video of my husband holding a gun to my head, which never happened.
I can't. Hang on, I thought this was about hiding Brian. Now it's about hostage. Hang on. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have laughed. I shouldn't have laughed. That was what. Sorry. I really apologize. Because that to me was just ridiculous.
Police officers. They were outside my house. They had bulletproof vests on. They said they had received multiple calls from the FBI. They also had claimed that there was video of my husband holding a gun to my head, which never happened. So they were coming to check on my welfare, and they were looking for Brian Blunt. Don't turn this into drama. It's not a good look. I'm not making this about drama. Someone asked in my chat about that, and so I'm just telling you what happened. So anyways, we were obviously able to tell them that I had been reporting on the story, that no, I was not harboring Brian Laundrie in my home, that none of these claims were true, and they...
Okay, so if somebody had said that that Toad had been holding a gun to her head, why wouldn't they have looked? Why didn't they ask to look at the gun? Why haven't they asked to see the gun? Why wouldn't they just... There's none of this that's making any sense. I can't make head or tail of this. I can't make it. Oh, this makes no sense. Why didn't they ask for the gun license, the registration, or whatever you need, or the permit, whatever you need to have? It makes no sense that they
left, but it was crazy because while we were standing there, the FBI literally called him on the phone.
Oh boy. Is this the next one? All right.
Today, as I was covering the reporting,
And there's this one.
oh, it's weird when you feel like you have a personal connection to someone, but when someone literally reminds you of someone that you love, it's hard not to want to find answers for that person because you feel like you know them.
Oh no,
and,
she's not.
But this one specifically spoke to me because Gabby actually reminds me of my best friend from college.
Oh.
And I know it's weird when you feel like you have a personal connection to someone, but when someone literally reminds you of someone that you love, it's hard not to want to find answers for that person because you feel like you know them. And the more that her dad spoke about Gabby, the more it just reminded me of my friend. And so I just kept thinking about if this were my friend, I would want to find her, come hell or high water. But this one specifically spoke to me because Gabby.
So that's why. That's why. That's what I'm saying, Kim. Surely they would have looked for the gun. They would have asked to see the gun. I just don't understand. There's just so much there. Anyway, I'm not going to watch me. Oh. It's bizarre. It is just... Oh. I'm astounded. It was a guitar. Toad was holding a guitar above her head because he wanted to show him the new lacquering, hey? I don't know. Oh boy. I apologize for laughing, but that's how I've reacted to it because it was just ridiculous. People believe that story? I can't believe it. Unbelievable. So, gee whiz, she was busy today. So her Twitter. So, I don't know, Christine. I don't know how her sons believe her. As I said, and this is why I've said trauma is not. This family's trauma is not tea. So there was stuff yesterday she posted. That was yesterday. So they found the van. So they're looking in Florida. So how did he get to? Yes, Toad's not making guitars anymore due to personal reasons. So they're searching in Florida. Physics Down Under says there's not even enough coherency. There isn't any enough to even answer don't believe question. Did she say they actually? I can't see it. No, I didn't see. She never said it. So then we've got this one. It says here, have you seen me? Brian Laundrie is a person of interest. He's a person of interest. Full video of the van again. If you're a parent, you know the need to protect your children, but you should also know when not to enable their bad behaviour. The Laundries protected Brian and let no one know Gabby was missing for 11 days. I don't know because well, and that's the thing. It is a fellow YouTube creator. That's one of her I guess it's one of the colleagues. Well, the police department now she's saying that they're inept. I'm still in trying to wonder if the Northport Police Department is this inept or if they know something we don't that would prove they aren't fubbling her disappearance. The FBI is out surveying dirt in Wyoming. Clearly, they suspect a crime occurred. Social media sleuths will find out what happened to Gabby before the police department does. If anyone... And then, so here, this is the other thing. If anyone is wondering, the FBI is similarly following up on all tips due to my reporting on Gabby's, is it Petito's disappearance. Someone reported that Brian Laundrie was hiding in my home in Minnesota. Police came here and determined that it was not a valid lead. And then she tagged her. Well, I noticed that Unirock started doing it as well. It's not tea. Then she reports that the fact that there's been a body found. She's journalist friends. A quick but important reminder that Grand Teton MP and Bridger Teton NF border one another but are not the same thing. Seeing the terms used interchangeably with potential breaking news, Gabby. Breaking news. And then she's saying the body is consistent with Gabby. FBI released a statement. Gabby is America's daughter, sister, cousin, friend, and granddaughter. Her infectious smile and positivity was evident through her social media. Now the FBI has found Gabby. It's time. Why has she written that? Because the way that she's written that, it's like they were besties. Now it's time to get justice for Gabby. Were they besties? Outside the house, police have cleared the streets. Earlier, and then she tagged it again. Earlier today, police showed up at my house. So she's done it twice and then tagged it twice. Brian looks like Chris Watts and acts like Scott Peterson. Peterson also tried to flee when Lacey's body. They found him in Southern California with his hair dyed and a wallet full of cash. His parents also enabled him. Right, so they believe it is him, but she's not been formally identified. Okay. All right. Right, that it is likely the body. Okay. I mean, I would. Well, I heard that they were cut. The FBI agent was pretty cut up, and then we've got the smiling assassin on her channel, thinking about all the dough that she can make, allegedly, in my opinion. So that's interesting. Her second account's under lock. She's got her second account locked up, and her first account is unlocked. That's bizarre, isn't it? So, but yeah, I'm just really quite shocked about it. So this is this is so this is from this is the the ABC. So this is the Australians report. So this is the Australian coverage of it. So FBI finds body matching description of missing traveller Gabby. Is it Tito? As search continues for Brian, partner Laundry. I apologise if I pronounce the names wrong. We do have different pronunciations in Australia to other. So they found the body of a 22-year-old woman who went missing last month, believes to have been found. The FBI, along with local agencies, have been searching for Gabby Petito since her boyfriend Brian Laundry returned home alone from a road trip they were on together. Earlier today, human remains were discovered consistent with Gabby. Full forensic identification has not been completed to confirm. 100% that we've found Gabby, but her family have been notified of this discovery. So the cause of death is not being determined. Miss Petito's last known contact with family was in late August from the Wyoming National Park. On Sunday evening, more than 50 law enforcement officers ended their second day of searching in a vast wildlife area near Florida's Gulf Coast for Mr. Laundry, who authorities consider a person of interest. So the thing is, he's a person of interest. He's not anything else because he's not. So they were driving across the US from New York, from Long Island. They intended to reach Oregon by Halloween, according to their social media accounts, but she vanished in late August. Yeah, there is no crime yet, Kim, you're right. Police video shows Florida woman had an emotional flight with Mr. Landry in Utah tourist town before she vanished. The video released by the Moab Police Department shows that an officer pulled over their van on August 12 after it was seen speeding and hit a curb near the entrance to Arches National Park. So inside was the couple who they said had been squabbling. Officers at the scene determined she was the aggressor in the altercation, but Mr. Landry declined to press charges, saying she's my fiancé. Police in Northport, Florida, where the couple lived together, said Mr. Landry was a person of interest. He'd not been charged prior to his disappearance. So, yeah, there's no crime. All right, good night, Cooper. So the police chief publicly vented his frustration over Mr. Landry's refusal to cooperate. 2 people left on the trip, 1 person returned. Miss Petito's parents also released a letter through their attorney. We believe you know the location of where Brian left Gabby, her parents wrote. It's interesting. We beg you to tell us as a parent, how could you let us go through this pain and not help us? As a parent, how could you put Gabby's younger brothers and sisters through this, letter said. Oh, like laundry? Okay. Laundry. Okay. Laundry. Okay. So anyway, so that's what's been reported in Australia. This one was, when was this updated? Yeah, it's 11 hours ago. So it's not the latest update. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I don't feel that I can properly cover it because it's not, I can't even pronounce the places. But I don't think that it's tea. I don't know how you can be making money off this. So that's what I don't understand, any of that. And here's the other thing that I want to know is if she took a photo of the police the last time they came, why didn't she take a photo this time the police came? That's what I want to know. Wyoming. Oh, Wyoming. Okay, cool. See, I can say it now. Wyoming. Oh, dear. I just, mess up things. Place names are weird. Oh, look, we have got some weird ones in Australia as well. So I know that for a fact. I'm sure she is, Kim. Let's just have a look at something. I want to see how many views she got on it. They're not as bad as Australia. True. But the thing is, because they're Australian names, I can say them exactly. I wondered where the picture be. Yeah, I want to know where they're FBI agents. Well, physics people did say that the last photo she posted was photoshopped. In fact, people actually took that photo and put it in other locations just to show that it could be done. Here's another interesting thing. Here's another interesting thing. Did you know that she's hit 180,000 subs, by the way? I noticed this today. So 180,000. She said 36,000 views. Her Duggars one yesterday, the other day, 51,000, and then there was 25,000, 97,000. Her bomb dropping, 56,000. So it's 180,000 subs. Look, 180. I'm just going to click on it. So this is 12 hours old. Of course. And I think she even responded to the father to say that she was doing everything she can to help. So let's have a look. Let's see what the comments are. To those who keep calling poor, there's reports. Only diabolical individuals leverage family tragedies like this for their own personal vendettas or entertainment. I wonder how quicker this case could have been resolved for the Potato family if this kind of nonsense was not going on. I hope you all are found, publicised and prosecuted and made to apologise to everyone you hurt. This kind of conduct is a new low. Um, Thank you for covering this. Our hearts go out to her family and friends. And she goes, so sad. You're supposed to say yes. Sympathy for her families and friends. Then someone says, I'm so sorry you're having to go through this from the trolls. You are giving real-time news to help bring attention to these cases, and people are trying to derail you at every turn. I appreciate what you do. Don't let them bring you down, but I also think you need to move. Cut them off at the head. If they don't know where you are, it's going to be harder for them to harass you. But she keeps telling people where she lives. How do you think that I found how do you think I found which courthouse her TRO was going to be at when she said that she was near the Canadian border that time? She said they're right near the Canadian border. All I got out was a map and Googled looked at which counties of Minnesota were on the Canadian border, and it was elimination. She does it herself. I don't know. So to cook. For those that are not aware, swatting is where someone who is disgusted or has an issue with people, usually in a video game lobby or live stream, and they call the cops. It's real. It happens. Don't accuse Katie of lying. Someone reckons that he's fled the country. Oh, yes, I think she might have said 3 p.m., yeah. Please stop saying the missing man is on the run, because he's not. People need to stop doing this. Where would he even get their address? I don't know. As I don't know the full story, so I don't know what the parents knew. I don't. No, I know. And most people wouldn't go on a live stream. Well, the thing is, it wasn't swatting because it didn't happen on a live stream. SWAT. So if it happened while she was streaming, then you would say it was swatting. So anyway. Yeah, just a lot of what's being said doesn't make sense to me. I can't make head or tail of anything, but the fact that we then get told that there was allegations of a gun, just I'm just blows my mind. And the fact the police didn't ask for any documentation for the gun, didn't check the gun, that they left without even talking about it. Why? Why wouldn't they have done all of that? I don't understand. I don't understand. So, but I know that one creator who has been covering missing persons and everything, she was very angry that people jumped on the bandwagon and were insensitive. He did a live and never mentioned that they came. I don't think. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what she's. Why do you have to exaggerate it all, though? That's what I want to know. Yeah, well, if the police came to my house, uh, I wouldn't be telling you about it. Let's just say that. Just saying, that's what I say is I would not be talking about it, but that's just me. Well, I saw he didn't like police, and he usually had meltdowns. I don't know, Bo. To be honest with you, I've got no idea. And that's the thing. There was no canine unit. Why wouldn't there be? There would be a canine unit, canine unit, wouldn't there? Looking for a missing person or a person of interest or somebody that they're looking for. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Trauma isn't tea. So I'm gonna. I think I might call it a night because I really, yeah, I don't want to give any more airtime to her. And so to my American friends, have fun with ScoMo in your country. Um, yeah, have fun with ScoMo in your country. You're, we've all said that we're happy for you to keep him. He's so. Well, he did. He was one of Trump's little. He was a Trump follower, so he's. I was going to say a Trump mini me. Honestly, keep him. It's funny. All the Aussies are saying keep him, and all the Americans are going, no, we don't want him. You've got enough of these jerks. Yeah. So, because he got into trouble when Biden got elected because he wouldn't ring Biden. He actually had to go kicking and screaming. We'll trade you for you take Trump. Oh dear me. I'm not actually sure who's going to get the worst deal, Kim. That's the problem. We'll send him to KJ's house. We'll tell him that there's a business meeting there. Oh, we're so mean, aren't we? Oh dear. I'm sure that's going to get me into more trouble. Just get myself into trouble. Anyway, thank you for joining me. So I may be on or may not be on tomorrow. I'll just see it. I'm just trying to see and work out what's that's her new next story. Oh, that's right. She's gonna. Oh, maybe she'll be doing trade negotiations with Australia. Oh, really? It's election day. Wow. I heard that he had a bit of problems. Bo. All right. So I'll catch you. So keep an eye out. If there's a live, I'll try and get it up early. Otherwise, but there'll be some recorded content going up. So thank you for joining me. Have a great day, night, whatever time it is. My lady doesn't speak often, but just told you that. What? Hang on. All right. Cool. All right. Totally clueless. Bye, everybody. Oh, dear.